What's going on, YouTube? This is Rodney, Knaftastic EDC. You know me. I have been watching a couple videos here and there here on the YouTube, and there's a thing going around now where people are tagging each other for 5 knives that make you happy. And I was recently tagged today by Knaf Sergeant, and I appreciate that. So I'm going to take that momentum or suggestion to do my 5 knives that make me happy. And I actually have a couple here, a little bit more than 5, and I'm briefly just going to go through them real quick. I don't want to hold you too long, but each one of these knives has a place in my life or thought process. Most what you see here in front of you are sentimental knives to me. Probably one of the knives that means the most is this Buck 110, and this is in a quick draw sheath. In other words, I wear this in the small of my back, and I pull with my right hand. So basically, this is in the back, my belt's going through here, and this snaps around the belt loop, so when you pull on it, it doesn't slide along the length of the belt. And when you pull, it comes out like that and opens it up. So basically it turns a standard Buck 110 into an auto. Now this was my father's, and he's no longer with us. This knife has some age on it. This is a 1991. You can see from the Buck 110 the plus moniker. If you can see that there. The plus, from what I can gather, means 91. So he had this for about 10 years before he passed. And then it became mine. And the only thing I've done different besides carry it is put it in this quick draw. And it just means so much to me to have a piece of him, something that he used as a tool, as a cutting utensil, something that he kept in his pocket or in his vest or whatever he was wearing that day. I'm sure there's been a deer or two skinned with this, or possibly he liked hunting squirrels and dove, and it's probably has been used for that purpose. Knowing my father, he was an avid hunter. I am not a hunter. I have been in the past, but not for many, many, many years. It's just something I decided not to do anymore. But I love carrying this knife because I know that every time I grab it and use it, that my father had this in his hands, and it means something to me that being in his hands, that I'm able to use it and enjoy it, and the fact that it was his makes it that much better. And that's the Buck 110. My knife collection has varied over the years, and I've grew, and some things have changed and some things have stayed the same. Another knife that I got early in my knife collecting, and I want to say this is in the 90s also. I believe this is the first release of the Leatherman Wave. Now it has, you can see, a pretty much heavily used but good condition leather sheath. And I don't know if there's a way to tell what generation or what year this was. I'm sure if I did some research I could find out. But besides having a pocket knife in my pocket, which I've not always been knife crazy. I've always liked knives. I've always carried a knife, but not until the last 15 years have I gone totally bat crazy over knives. But I generally had a knife, and then I had a Leatherman. And the reason I carried a Leatherman was because it was always in my pocket. and it was always able to use no matter what task come about. More than likely with this Leatherman I could tackle the job. You know, it has a saw type blade serrated for, you know, all kinds of heavy duty rope cutting or tasks that really require an edge that will rip and tear through stuff. It has a saw for wood cutting or whatever the case may be, and all these are locking. Then it has a standard sort of drop point style blade, and then it has a file, and it's both a mill smooth and what I call a bastard or a rough cut. And then it has various tools on the inside. Of course, it's got the signature made in USA Leatherman pliers with wire snippers to cut wire, or, you know, whatever you're needing to snip in half, zip ties or this or that. And then it has some little screwdrivers, a little flathead, a pair of scissors. It's got 3 flatheads from small to, I reckon you would say, medium. And then a pair of scissors, which the scissors are great on this. And then you have a bottle opener, a Phillips head, and another little flathead, or almost like a pry bar. So I really like this. It's always been fun to use, and it brings me joy because it's been a good one. It makes me happy and smile because I've had it so long and I haven't managed to lose it yet. And my Leatherman Wave makes me happy for that reason. When I started getting into knives, I've had all kinds, but most of my knives were budget. And back in, I want to say it was around 96, 97, maybe a little bit before, maybe 94. Yeah, around 1994, I think. I don't know for sure because I don't have the paperwork, and I have the original box somewhere, but I don't know where it's at. I think I do, but I don't think so. Normally I save all my boxes, especially as of lately I save all the boxes. But we have the Benchmade Emerson CQ C7. Now, this is a true chisel, and it's an ATS 34 steel. And this is the Emerson Spec War model CQ C7. And it's, I'm thinking it's stainless liners. I don't think it's titanium. Stainless liners. And it's running on, it has a ceramic detent ball, I believe, and it's running on washers, bronze washers. And when I got this thing, it was just so buttery smooth and just worked great. This was pretty much my only knife that I carried. The blade was much prettier when I first got it. It's been back to Benchmade, I think, once or twice for the factory edge service to be put on it and reconditioned. The one thing that I didn't really care for this knife was that the pocket clip was tip down only, but I learned to like that and grow to love it. I like that it had a lanyard option. But this was really my entry-level knife into knife collecting, now hoarding. I reckon it's what I do now. But I love this knife so much because it really opened my eyes to American-made quality. And Benchmade was just, I was blown away by how sharp this thing was, and I was cutting phone books in half with it, and, you know, just having a blast. This thing was so nice. I showing it to all of my friends. I was so proud of it. It made me happy, and it still makes me happy today, even though I don't carry it a whole lot. When I did carry it, this was the only knife I carried, and it was in my pocket every day, everywhere I went for probably 10 years straight. This is all I carried. I didn't have a rotation. I didn't have a bunch of knives to pull from. And this was it. And I just absolutely loved it, and I still enjoy it, and it still makes me happy. And that's the Benchmade CQC7 Emerson Spec War Model, which was a collaboration with Emerson by Benchmade. Fast forward to about 2000 and I think 6 or 4. I think the model years on this blade, but this was my introduction to high-end American-made OTFs. Now this is a Microtech Halo 3, if I can get it out of here. Now this is a single action OTF, and I paid a pretty penny for this. I want to say I paid just over $300, I think, for it, or $350 back in 2000. And I remember I got it right around when it was released. So this was in 2005. This is the Halo 3 2005 Microtech, and it's got the charge handle, and this thing just rockets out. Beautiful satin grind with black blade. It has been used some. The blade is sterile, has the Microtech claw on it. And this was my introduction into high-end American-made autos. And I believe when this was made, they were in Florida, I believe. I think they're in North Carolina now. I don't know if it doesn't say. It just says it's number 253 of 2005 Microtech. And I was blown away by the quality and the way things were put together, the fit and the finish. I was just like, wow. And when I got this, and this edge, I mean, it's right there. You can almost cut yourself, but you can't. I mean, if you really dig in there, I reckon you could possibly cut yourself, because that blade, that tip is right there. I just can feel it. But the hardware and the fasteners, I just thought this was so technologically advanced for the time. Now granted, I was already a machinist at this time. I've been a machinist since 1992, and this is 2005. And I just thought, wow, it's pretty cool. And I'm so glad I still got it. This is part of the permanent collection. It's not going anywhere. It's a big old boy. We're looking at about 4 inches of blade, not quite 3 3/4 of cutting edge. It's got a nice choil on it, and it just really cool knife. And I have some other Microtechs, but they're all double action OTFs. And it came with this sheath, this little Kydex sheath, and I don't know, I got this, it was on the secondary, and I don't know if this was an aftermarket or an original, but it's pretty cool, and I've used it. It's hard to get in and out. The retention on it's real tight, and I've never really liked it a whole lot. I've never carried it a whole lot, but when I did carry it, I was not so keen on the sheath, but the knife is just, it definitely is an attention getter. It's a beautiful one. And I love it because it's American and it's quality, and it makes me happy. And that's the Microtech Halo 3. Alright, so far we've talked about 4 knives. We had the Buck 110, the Leatherman, the Benchmade CQC7, and the Halo 3. So that's 4. We'll get them back in screen so everybody can see. Now, I have number 5. And then I have 2 honorable mentions or thought process that I want to tell you about. And I won't hold you any longer because we're already at 15 minutes. This knife is the Kaiser Contrail. It's a small little 5th pocket knife that I absolutely love. It came in a green color. I do use this one quite a bit. A lot of times it's in my 5th pocket, but not all times. A lot of times I only pull it out strictly to use it. I don't pull it out to show or, whatever. But it's just a great little knife, and I really enjoy carrying it. And the thought process of why this one makes me happy is my wife got this for me for Christmas. My wife and my daughter, my family. And she had reached out to me, and of course she knows I'm knife crazy. Boy, does she know I'm knife crazy. But she had reached out and, asked for some ideas for knives, and I had told her I was looking at this particular one. It was a Kaiser titanium one, and we looked around and we found a link, and I said, yeah, that one's really nice. She said, you think you might like that? And I said, yeah, that'd be a nice surprise. And, well, Christmas time came, and the knife showed up, and this was in the package. It was not the one that she thought she had ordered. And I seen this, and I was like, oh man, that's not that one. But then I was like, but it is pretty cool. And I started looking at it. It was like a greenish color. And now you can't really tell by the color of the screen, but it's a black purple. And I fell in love with the little thing. It was so cool looking, and I decided to dye the scales, and just it's a little brute of a knife. It's just, I love the jimping on it. I love the thumb stud action. It just flies open. I think I can spidey flick it. Well, I know I can thumb flick it. I normally thumb flick it. My fingers, I cut my finger in trying to get it to spidey flick. It's not working on me tonight. My finger's hurting. But it's just a great little overall knife. It's dirty. It probably needs a sharpening. I know it's still pretty sharp. Yeah, it'll still shave you. It's not super sharp. Needs a good stropping. But this is the Kaiser Contrail. And it's a funny thing, even though sometimes you don't get what you were thinking, or maybe what you were desiring to begin with, and something else happens and you get it, and it makes you even more happy. So the story behind that makes me happy. My wife got it for me. We thought it was going to be something else, and then it ended up being this, and lo and behold, I really like it. It's a great additional. It's a great secondary carry or 5th pocket carry knife. I mean, it just feels so great in hand. It's a little bruiser, little small, with just fitting in the palm. Forgive me, guys, if I'm not under the camera. I'm sitting here talking and not even looking at the camera. I got cuts all over my fingers from working the day. But it just fits really great in hand. And this is a Lundquist design. And I'm surprised it's not seen more than it is. I need to do a review on this. I don't think I've done a review on it. But the pocket clip works great in and out of pocket. It's got a little lanyard option on it. It's not reversible, so it's right hand friendly only. But it is the Kaiser Contrail. I don't know if you can see that in there. And Justin Lundquist. And the model number is V2540C2. And the blade steel is 154 cm, which is not a shabby steel either. So, and we did contact the eBay. She got it off eBay, which we probably shouldn't do, but we do a lot of shopping on eBay. and it was a seller. The seller on eBay is eCop, and we told them, said, "Hey, you sent us this knife, and it's not what we ordered, but we want to keep it." But there was a price discrepancy, and they were just like, "We'll just return it, and we'll give you." You know, they wanted a. It was a weird situation. So, with that being said, I would not recommend buying knives from eCop on eBay, because upon some searching, we found out that they do the switcheroo a lot of times. They'll post one knife, they'll take pics and descriptions of one knife, you buy it, and then they'll send you something else, basically like a switching bait. And you know, most people, they don't want to do the hassle of returning, and they'll just eat it. Well, luckily, I didn't mind it, because I like this. And, you know, the price difference was minuscule, so that wasn't a big deal. But it just wasn't what we had ordered. But anyway, I'm glad they sent this one instead. So I almost need to thank them. But most people would not be in the same situation I was with the Kaiser Contrail. Story behind that, and that's why this knife makes me happy. And then the last two, both of these, you know, I'm a YouTube channel. I get on here and I show pocket knives, and I do this and I do that. And I've met some really nice, genuine people. And I don't want to rush through this, but I have a friend of mine, Sean, that me and him originally met through a knife sale on eBay. And me and him have really become genuine friends. He is a great guy. I've just done some mods for him. He does the intro on my videos, the music. He's a guitar player in the band Dirty Kings, which is a sticker back here you can't see. Just an awesome, really genuine dude. And we hadn't known each other too long, and he's given me a couple knives, but this is one of the ones he sent me, and it just really touched my heart, and it makes me happy because I love Sean. He's a good dude, and the camaraderie you get from the Knife Tube community and the guys and girls here, and you know, YouTube, this knife community here has been so good to me and treated me with so much love and attention. It's really, really appreciated. And this is the Ganzo, and I don't know if my video is stopping, the G73, and I think I'm getting ready to get cut off. And then last but not least is I want to give away from 1MKR, 1 Minute Knife Review, and this is the Protech. This is the one and only giveaway I've ever won, and this is the Protech Sprint. If I can get it out. I've carried it a couple times and I'm scared I'm gonna mess it up, but I need to use it, don't I? I put it back in for safekeeping. The little Protech Sprint. This is such a cool knife. Thank you so much, Patrick. And this is what the YouTube knife community is about. Is the friends you meet and the people you know makes all the difference. And that's why this knife makes me happy. And with Sean's knife, it makes me happy because he's a genuine friend, and he gave this to me out of the kindness of his heart, the same as Patrick gave this knife out in a giveaway from the kindness of his heart, because that's what YouTube is about, is do something kind for someone. And that's all I got, guys. I hope I haven't kept you here too long. I'm really tired. Y'all have a great, blessed night. And remember, Jesus is the real thing. God bless America. Bye now.